Hey everyone, and welcome back to AI Podcast. Today we're diving deep into a super interesting part of the tech world, AI native companies.
And it's not just about, adding a sprinkle of AI to an existing
Right,
business.
it's a whole different game.
It really is.
These companies aren't just saying, oh, how can AI improve what we're already doing?
Hmm.
They're asking, how can we build a business that's completely shaped by AI?
Exactly. It's a totally different mindset.
So for anyone who's new to this whole concept, let's break it down. What exactly does it mean for a company to be AI native?
Well, imagine AI isn't just a tool for them, it's like the foundation of their whole existence. Like take Waymo, for example. They didn't start with a regular car company and say, hey, let's add some self-driving features. They started with the question, how can we build a car that's completely reliant on AI to drive itself?
So it's AI from the ground up. And speaking of ground, another key element here is data.
Oh, absolutely. Data is like the fuel for any AI system. It's what feeds those algorithms and helps the AI learn and adapt.
So it's not just about collecting tons of data. It's about designing your entire company to use that data in a really smart way.
And that's where things get really fascinating. They're not just using data to make their current processes a bit better. They're actually creating completely new processes that are powered by AI. Companies like UiPath are a great example. They're automating really complex tasks that used to require so much human effort. And it's not even just about saving money, it's about achieving a whole new level of efficiency and being able to scale things up much faster.
It's like they're building these really intricate systems that can learn and adapt and evolve, all thanks to AI.
Precisely. And that's what lets them do things that traditional companies just can't. They're not held back by the same limitations.
Right? They can be much more experimental and push the boundaries.
And we're seeing this happen across so many different sectors.
It's like they've unlocked a whole new level of innovation.
Absolutely. Just look at OpenAI changing how we think about writing with ChatGPT,
Hmm.
or DeepMind tackling those massive scientific problems like protein folding.
And those are just the big players. There are tons of fascinating startups out there doing incredible things too.
Like Adept AI helping people get work done way faster and smoother with AI. Or Hugging Face, it's like a central hub for AI folks to connect and collaborate. Sort of like a GitHub, but for AI.
I'm always amazed by the sheer variety and ingenuity of these companies.
Mhm.
But beyond the cool technology, why should we really care about AI native companies?
That's the big question, right? Well, think of it this way. We're at a really crucial point in history. AI isn't some far-off concept anymore. It's becoming a part of our daily lives. And these AI native companies are leading the charge. They're shaping how we interact with technology and ultimately how we live our lives.
That's why it's so important for us to understand them, how they work, and what it all means for the future.
Exactly. They're not just making cool gadgets, they're reshaping entire industries and having a huge impact on society as a whole.
We're talking healthcare, finance, education, transportation. Basically, every part of our lives will be touched by AI in some way.
And it's already happening.
So before we get into the nitty-gritty of the real-world impact,
Which is mind-blowing, by the way.
it really is, let's look at a few more examples of these companies in action. Stick around, there's a lot more to discover.
So yeah, we were talking about that real-world impact. And honestly, the scope of what these companies are doing is just incredible.
It's pretty mind-boggling to think about how they're changing the game in so many industries.
Like take healthcare, for instance. PathAI is using AI to analyze medical images, helping doctors to make much more accurate diagnoses.
Which could potentially even save lives, right? That's huge.
Absolutely huge. And then you've got Zest AI. They're working to make credit scoring fairer and more inclusive by using AI. It's all about using this tech to tackle some of the biggest challenges we face as a society.
Yeah, it's not just about making things faster or cheaper. It's about making things better, more equitable, more accessible for everyone.
Exactly. And that speaks to the real potential of AI native companies to make a genuinely positive impact. It's not just about profit for them. They've got this vision of a better future, and they're using AI to help us get there.
Okay, so we've seen the what's and the why of AI native companies, but I think it's time to dig a bit deeper into the how. How do these companies actually operate differently? What are the core principles behind their decisions?
That's a great question. It's one thing to say AI is at our core, but it's another thing to really embody that philosophy. And I think one of the biggest differences is how they approach problem solving.
How so?
Well, traditional companies often start with a problem, and then they try to figure out how AI can help them solve it. But AI native companies flip that script completely. They start with AI and ask, what unique problems can we solve with this technology?
So it's not about forcing AI into their existing ways of doing things. They let AI actually shape those frameworks from the ground up.
Exactly. They're always on the lookout for new and innovative ways to leverage AI. They're not afraid to experiment, to challenge the status quo, to explore uncharted territory. It's a much more dynamic and agile approach.
And that agility is reflected in their organizational structure too, right?
Absolutely. AI native companies are structured very differently. They have dedicated AI teams, and those teams are integrated into every single part of the business. They invest a lot in data infrastructure and in attracting top AI talent. But most importantly, they cultivate a culture of continuous learning and experimentation.
So it's like AI is woven into the very fabric of the company.
Precisely, and that's what allows them to move so fast, to adapt, to change quickly, and to stay ahead of the game. They're not weighed down by legacy systems or outdated thinking. They're built for speed and innovation in this rapidly evolving world of AI.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, the defining characteristics, the real-world examples, the potential benefits. But let's bring it back to our listeners for a moment. Why should they care about AI native companies?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Well, for starters, these companies are going to have a major impact on our lives, whether we realize it or not.
I mean, AI is already changing how we work, how we shop, how we communicate.
Right. And it's only going to accelerate from here.
Exactly.
And AI native companies are at the very forefront of this revolution. They're the ones developing the technologies that will shape our future. For better or for worse, they're creating new jobs, new opportunities, but also new challenges that we need to be ready for.
So whether you're a tech enthusiast, a business leader,
Uh,
or just someone who's curious about what the future holds, AI native companies are something you definitely need to be paying attention to.
I couldn't agree more. They're a force to be reckoned with. And understanding them is absolutely crucial for navigating the world that's rapidly changing around us.
And that's what we're here to help you do. We've
Yeah.
only just scratched the surface today, but there's so much more to explore.
Oh, absolutely. We'll definitely be diving deeper into this fascinating topic in future episodes.
But before we wrap up for today,
We should probably mention.
yeah, it's important to acknowledge that this is a complex and constantly evolving landscape. There's still a lot we don't know about the long-term impact of AI native companies.
And while there's incredible potential for good, we also need to be mindful of the potential risks.
Right, like the possibility of job displacement
Hmm.
or the ethical implications of these increasingly powerful AI systems.
These are vital conversations that we need to be having as a society, and AI native companies have a responsibility to be a part of those conversations, to make sure that AI is developed and used in a way that benefits everyone.
Couldn't agree more. So let's keep those conversations going. Let's explore the possibilities and address the challenges together, because the future of AI is ultimately up to all of us.
And that's what makes it all so exciting. We're not just passive observers. We have a role to play in shaping this future.
We spent a lot of time today, really digging into this fascinating world of AI native companies.
Yeah, from those unique characteristics and their innovative approaches, to the really profound impact they're already having on different industries.
But before we wrap things up on AI Podcast today,
We wanted to leave you with something to think about.
yeah, something that goes beyond all the, the technical stuff and the impressive examples.
Think about this for a second. How could AI native companies actually impact your life, your job, the things that you care about?
Because the truth is, these companies aren't just changing the business world.
They're changing the world as we know it.
And understanding them is kind of key to navigating the future.
No matter what you do or what you're interested in.
So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those critical thinking caps on.
And join us again tomorrow for another deep dive into the always evolving world of AI.
We'll be back with a brand new episode, exploring a whole new side of this exciting field.
Until then, keep those algorithms buzzing.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.